All right, so my next thing is, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about coupons, but these are kind of different. I'm going to say use coupons and perks wisely. We all know that Ulta has a better perks program than Sephora. I don't really use Sephora's perks program that much. If I have points and I order something from Sephora, then I'll go ahead and use those points on some sort of sample, but I really prefer cash incentives over product sample incentives, especially because I already get the Sephora Playbox, and a lot of their sample incentives are the same things they give out in the Sephora Playboxes, so I usually get them anyway. I love Ulta's points program. They're amazing. So I tend to, even though they're a couple more cents more expensive than Target, I tend to buy things like shampoo, sunscreen, if I can, like body wash, stuff like that at Ulta to get those points, because I like being platinum at Ulta, because you get 20% off coupons. You get like 4 or 5 of these a year. And typically they are like either right before or right after a major holiday when you're actually totally broke and probably shouldn't be spending money. So keep that in mind and save up. When you're platinum, you get 20% off coupons that are good off their regular makeup and their prestige makeup. So Urban Decay, Tarte, Anastasia Beverly Hills, all the stuff that never goes on sale. These coupons are good for those. Now, typically, if they've just released something, like if it's been a week or two since a product release, occasionally they'll exclude that product from the coupon, but not always. But I like to save big purchases for these coupons. Like, say if I'm running out of bronzer and face powder and blush, and I've got like 2 eyeshadow palettes I want to buy, I will wait, use that 20% off coupon, and save a ton of money on those all at once. So say I'm starting to run low on things, instead of going and stocking up right away, I'll see if I can stretch it a little bit until I can get that coupon, and that helps. Also, the other thing you want to do is they always try and get you to spend your Ulta points. You want to save your Ulta points, because if you break them apart, like say you have, 500 Ulta points and you're like, okay, I'll use like half my points, you don't actually get half that money. For 1,000 points, you get $50 off. For 500 points, you get $17.50 off. But say you break that up and you're like, oh, I'm going to keep half my points and just spend 500 of those points, you're not getting 25 off. You're only getting $17.50. So you really want to let the points rack up and then spend them all at once. Don't break them up. Because if you ask, can I break them up? Or they will encourage you to break them up sometimes, especially managers, which will definitely reduce how much money you're actually getting. And I would highly recommend, especially if you buy a lot of makeup like I do, keep stacking your points up until you reach 2,000 points, because then you get $125 off. And that's pretty much like you can go and buy 2 high-end palettes and face powder for like free, or buy like 2 perfumes completely free. So I'm a huge fan of their points program. I think it's one of the best ones out there, and I would highly suggest doing it. Now, I don't have their credit card because I don't like messing with credit cards. Just know I won't recommend credit cards in general. So just so you know, I'm talking about their general basic rewards program. All right, so I know I've given you a lot of information, and this has been a lot of talking for a video where I'm not physically applying makeup to my face, but I want to give you a couple more tips and then I'm going to let you guys go. Consider a subscription box for monthly samples, especially if you like to travel or you're not too picky on what you use. I personally get the Sephora Playbox. I like it. I don't necessarily love it, but it is one of the cheapest ones out there. It's $10 a month. You get 5 samples, and then you get like a bonus sample, which is usually either like a shampoo packet or a perfume. I love when they're the perfumes. I actually have a whole collection of perfume samples I've gotten. So I can smell as expensive as I want to for like practically nothing, which is amazing. But if you like trying high-end products, and aren't too particular on what you use, then it's great. Now, if you're very particular on what you use or have, or you don't like having a backstock of products in your house, then I won't recommend it. But if you don't mind having a backstock, like I have a whole drawer back here that is nothing but sample products that are waiting for me to use. When I traveled to Chicago, I took a handful of stuff that I knew I liked that I already had in travel size and was able to throw it and pack it in my bag and was able to pack really quick. So I like stuff like that. And also several things that I've gotten sample size that I've ended up buying full size of. So it's not that expensive and it's nice to have. Another tip is keep your makeup out of your bathroom. Oh my goodness. People and keeping your makeup in your bathroom. It drives me crazy. I'll tell you why. Your bathroom is nasty. Your bathroom is gross. Your bathroom is humid. It is hot. It is smelly. Powders pick up smells. You don't want your face powder accidentally left open to smell like that. I promise you. Keep your makeup in a cool, dry place out of direct sunlight and in a low humidity room if at all possible to maintain its quality. Typically, most liquid products like this have a shelf life of 6 months. Most of my foundations I feel comfortable keeping for a year or more because I keep all these in my filming room / office space, which means that they are in a cool, dry, not dark, but not brightly sunlit room. There's no humidity in here, even though like I'm burning up because of these lights. And almost all my products, except for the ones that I'm currently using on a daily basis, are either kept in a drawer in my makeup desk or they are kept in drawers that I have tucked away back in this area. So, very low exposure to light. They are less likely to separate, they're less likely to oxidize, and generally they stay nicer. Also, close your products. I cannot tell you how many times I see videos of people showing me their makeup rooms, and they've got something like this just sitting open for like an hour. Do not let your cream products sit out uncapped. They will go bad so fast. They will dry out. They will go funky. You do not want that to happen. Same with your powders. Powders will last forever if you take care of them. Leave them outside on a humid day or leave them in your car. Please don't. But if you leave them in your car on a humid day, it's no bueno. Most of us don't have an extra room to store our makeup in. Keep it in your bedroom. Keep it out of your bathroom and it will last so much longer. Another tip is to label your mascaras. Unless you're using like a sample size and you know you're going to go through it in like a week, your full-size mascaras, label them with the date you got them and open them and first started using them. I cannot tell you how many times I could not remember when I opened a mascara and I'm like, is this old? Is this new? I don't know. Does it smell funny? Or is this how it originally smelled? I have no idea. So this does two things. One, it keeps you from accidentally throwing away a mascara that's new if you keep multiple mascaras to use. And also it keeps you from using a mascara longer than 3 months. So many of us keep mascara way longer than is recommended, and we end up with mascara that flakes beneath our eyes, that gets into our eyes, mascara that goes bad and causes eye infections, etc. I mean, listen, I don't care how long you keep your eyeshadow palettes. Like, keep your eyeshadow palettes for 8 years for all I care. Goodness knows I have used like 10-year-old eyeshadow on this channel before for the sake of a video, of course. But I don't like using old mascara. I think the longest I have pushed a mascara was like 6 months, and by then it was just like flaking apart, and just don't do it. Another tip is to think of more than one way to use a product. I like to use face highlighters for my inner corner if I don't have a palette that has like a bright inner corner highlight that's shimmery, and vice versa. If I'm out and I've noticed my highlights wore off my cheeks, but I have an eyeshadow palette that I used for my inner corner that has a shimmery highlight, I will go ahead and use that on my cheeks. In fact, one of my favorite highlights of all time is actually in the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and that's, if I can get this open, this one, Champagne Truffle. I love using this highlight on my face. It's gorgeous. So think of more than one way to use your products. That's a really good thing if you're in a hurry or you don't want to have a lot of products. Like, say you don't tend to wear a lot of eye makeup, but you like wearing bronzer. You can use your bronzer as a crease color, which I've done in a ton of videos. And it's multi-using products. It saves money because you don't have to buy more product, and it helps use up the product that you've already purchased. Also, multi-use skincare products. The skin under your eyes, contrary to marketing, does not always need a separate product. Now, I do occasionally use eye creams. Like I have this one, the Clinique Pep Star. I really like this eye cream, especially under makeup. I find that it helps make my concealer stay looking dewy and not look dry and cakey, especially if my skin's dehydrated. So this is great. However, at night, I don't tend to use a separate eye cream. One, because a lot of eye creams that I've tried are actually too harsh for your under eye area and tend to burn your eyes. Also, if you use too heavy of a cream under your eyes, you can develop pores that are clogged with oil. They're called milia. Look them up. They have to be removed by a dermatologist, and they're just big white dots. If you ever notice a white bump that is not a pimple, that's milia, and it's a clump of oil, basically. And the biggest cause of them is too much oil and too heavy of a moisturizing product, especially around the eye area. They're very, very common when people do that, and I am prone to them. So I tend to go lighter underneath my eyes. So for underneath my eyes at night, I just use my night cream. I take the face cream, I use on my face, and I pat it under my eyes. It works really, really well. I also like face mists that are multi-purpose, like this one. The Mario Badescu's are good for this, and the Pixie face mist, like all of them. The Milky Mist, the Rose Tonic, like all their face mists are great for this. You can use them as skincare by themselves. You can use them under makeup as a primer, or you can use them on top of makeup to set and add glow and things like that. So multi-use face mists. Things like the all-nighter, you really only want to use on top of your makeup, but things like this that double as skincare and makeup sprays are excellent. All right, guys, I think that is everything on how I save money on makeup. I just try to be very thoughtful with my purchases. And again, I tend to save on creams, spend on powders, and just think through before I buy things. I don't tend to be one of those people who goes into a store and doesn't think and just grabs a bunch of stuff. If you find yourself doing that, I would recommend trying to shop for your makeup online first. Make a list and then go into the store. And if you have too much trouble staying away from the shiny stuff in the store, because I tend to do the same thing, I like the shiny stuffs, buy your makeup online. You're going to be less likely to make impulse purchases. And the other thing you can do is buy your makeup in cash. I promise you, when you're at that Ulta or Sephora counter, handing over a wad of like $300 or $400 bills, rather than just swiping a card is going to hurt a lot more, and it's going to make you think more about whether you really need it or really want it. So I hope that you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I love having you guys here, and I'm going to be trying my best to provide you with helpful and hopefully entertaining videos. I am posting 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Most of the time, occasionally I have a schedule change. Only usually if I'm traveling or if I have like a big video that takes quite a few days to film. But anyway, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and you can also keep up with me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm pretty much everywhere, and all the links for those are down below. I love hearing from you guys in the comments, and I try and get back to you. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.